Hey, affiliates! If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal Phillips and I'm the founder of the brand KAPHILL. And what we do on this page is we talk about fashion, family, and fun, and how we're going to build the KAPHILL brand into a $1 billion business. So stay tuned. So this week's blog post is all about getting out of your space to be more creative. So if you're like me, you work from home, you do everything from home, right? Your home is your office, your me time, your rest time, your wardrobe, your closet, all of the things. And sometimes when you stay in your same space, you kind of get this old, stale, stagnant energy. And what I've noticed for me is that once I move from my same mundane surroundings, I get more excited about things. I get inspired. I find other people who are in the same flow as me. And I want to encourage everyone to do the same. So this week has been an interesting week for me because I have helped a couple of people plan out their years, right? And a couple of people, meaning myself, my boyfriend, and one of my good friends, Yolanda. So I have been really thinking hard about goal setting and how I can actually make my visions and dreams come true, right? So as you guys have heard in the past, I have spent so much time building out my 5-year business plan, and I'm so excited about it. It took me so many years to get to the point where I can actually do and plan things and like be confident, because something in me feels like if I have a plan, I get nervous. And I think that's a trauma response. Someone tell me, I don't know. But I don't like to plan things in case they don't happen. But this year I'm flipping the script. We flipping and reversing over here. Because what I'm not going to do is not have a plan and be upset when things don't happen in the way that I've envisioned it, or even better than I envisioned it, right? I can't expect things to just fall into my lap. And what I've realized with making a plan is, one, you have to feel like you're in a flow. You have to feel like you're in the groove to make a plan. You have to be at rest and at peace. You have to think about your plan in different stages of things instead of thinking the whole big grand thing, because then you can get really overwhelmed, right? I know I do. The moment I think about something I have to do, like recording content, what do I have to do to record content? There's so many steps for me to get to this point, right? Because one, I'm not going to be on the people's internet looking crazy. I done did that too many times. I saw my first week's blog post and we're not doing that again. So I have to put the time and effort into this beat. I mean, period. You see the material. But also I have to think about things that I want to talk about. I have so many different ideas. And if I don't plan out what has come into my mind that week and what my topic should be, I'm going to be all over the place. So this week I've made it a point to, one, plan out my year for myself. And you guys have seen my vision board. And if you haven't, it's in the back over there. That'll be another blog post of how I put it together. But I planned out my vision board. I have a vision board for my relationship and how I want my family to grow. And I have a vision and business plan for my business. And when I was sitting down with my friend Yolanda, she was saying that she hasn't really put her goals to paper. And not because she's not a planner. And trust me, she has helped me plan out my business, like financially. If you guys need someone to help you plan out your business funding, your personal finances, all the things, hit up Yolanda and I will give you Yolanda's information if you ask. Just drop a comment and I'll give you her information. Anyway, she was saying that, it's harder for her to put down her own ideas. One, because there's so many, and two, because like, where do we even start? So what I asked her to do, which is what I encourage you guys to do, and I've done myself, is I write down my goals, no matter how big they are, I put them on paper. And when my boyfriend and I sat down this week, one, we got out of our space. So we went to the Barnes and Noble in our neighborhood. And it's actually a really nice one because it has a cafe, restaurant thing. And then it has a outdoor seating area as well as a Starbucks. So we did the cafe, we ordered lunch, and we literally sat down and talked about all the things that we wanted to accomplish within the week. Within the year, for our family. So we talked about the big things, the scary things, right? The things that require us to put in some little extra work. And then the things that are like material, all the things, right? So what we decided to do was list out everything. He went first because, I got a lot to say. I didn't want to take up all the time. So I let him go first. And then I wrote down everything that I wanted to accomplish within our relationship. And turns out we had a lot of the same ideas. Alignment, baby. Anyway, So when we looked at everything, we had a lot of commonalities, but one thing that I noticed is that we didn't have any structure. So I said, okay, in order for us to achieve our wildest dreams, what is the base level goal? And what I mean base level goal is, what is the thing you need to set in motion in order for everything else to work? So let's say your goal is to make $100,000 in sales for the year, right? So it's a small goal, but let's see how can I actually do that? So first you have to assess where you are right now. What do I have in place right now that's going to help me get there? The second thing you have to do is, if you don't have things in place, what's the bare minimum thing you have to do? So in order for you to make sales, you need a product, right? That's one thing. In order for you to make a product, you need to have money to make a product. In order for you to make a product, you have to have an idea for that product. And in order for you to make a product, you have to have people who will be willing to make the product for you, right? So now, what's the first step in there? One is the idea. Bing, 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 bing. You have to backtrack and say, do I have an idea to make a product that can make $50,000, $100,000? Second thing is, once I have an idea and a concept, now I have to contract people who can actually make this come through. Because what we're doing is working smarter, not harder. And working smarter means you hire the people, okay, that can help you. Okay, so now we got the people, right? Then I have to see, once I have the idea, I went to the people, they gave me an estimate. How much money do I need? Okay, cool. I need X amount of money. Where am I going to get this money from? Am I going to use my personal money? Am I going to try to get a loan? Am I going to ask family and friends? Am I going to put it on my credit cards? So once you determine which avenue you go, you have to then say, let's say I'm going to use my personal money. How much money am I willing to set aside from my paycheck every single week to dedicate to this business? And then after you have all those things in motion, you can then start the process of making your product to then get to the next step towards making that $100,000, right? So you have to think about your goals at different levels, because there's levels to this. You feel me? What was I saying? Remember when Shanae used to do that? She'd be like, wait, let me think. Anyway, so there's levels to all your goals, right? And what I think is nice is to have someone that you trust, that you can bounce your ideas and goals off of. So not only is it nice to move out of your space, but it's also nice to have a person that you know is not going to, one, deter you from your dream, two, that's going to give you sound advice, whether or not they have the experience, but just hearing it from a more objective perspective will help you put things into perspective. And three, making the plan plain. Okay, so for instance, let me break this down even further, right? I kept on saying to myself, like, oh, Avery needs clothes, Avery needs clothes. Avery's my 5-year-old daughter, right? But I'm like, well, I'm on a budget. Every single dollar I have is going into KAPHILL, and I don't know how that's going to work. So what I did for myself this year was, before I even said, let me just go out and buy, because I'm a person who doesn't plan, and I just go and do shit. And that don't work. That don't work. That do not work. So I said to myself, okay, how can I be strategic in this? One, Christmas is coming up, so that's perfect. I can put things on her Christmas list that I know she needs, and then things that she wants. Cool, for family and friends to purchase. Two, I can say to myself, how do I need to restructure my current situation to help me be able to then pour back into myself and my daughter? So what I did was, I decided to make a plan, a personal plan of all the things I wanted to focus on, and what are the areas in my life where I feel like I have been neglecting or lacking, and that's self-care for myself and for my daughter. So that goes into buying new items of clothing. If something is small, I won't replace it because, oh no, I'm too afraid to use this money to do something, versus having a plan to say, when I use this money, I'm going to recoup it by doing X. Or this money's going to go here, and then at this time, another funnel of money is going to come back into me. So having that plan set in motion, so it's like a circle, right? So I am an advocate of getting out your space, and I'm excited for this week because I am going to have a tea at Bergdorf Goodman with a new girlfriend, and it's nice, instead of like just, oh, let me go to someone's house, or let's go have a drink, or let's go to a Starbucks. Let's do something different. Get out of our space. How can I continue to be inspired? And also, how can I live the life that I want to live within my means, right? I see myself as a lady who lunches. I mean, why not? Why can't I be able to do that lunches? I just have to plan out how I'm going to do that. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to set a date and I'm going to calculate the prices for how much it costs to be able to do that lunch at Bergdorf. And guess what? It's very attainable because I said, let me plan. And granted, I've had this plan in my mind. I wanted to have afternoon tea for a long time. I still want to go to the Baccarat Hotel, but like I said, there's levels. Right now, I'm at the basement level. I'm finna work my way up. But I said to myself, I need to do the research. How can I plan this into my life? So, and then I found someone who's willing to jump on board with my plan and experience this with me. So everything comes down to a plan. And I guarantee you, when I come out of my space, come out of my neighborhood and go into a bigger store, different people, I'm going to be inspired. I'm in the midst of designing new collections. I'm going to be inspired. But I also just like that change of energy. Like, I live in Westchester County, New York. And the energy here is different than the energy of being in the city. Granted, I used to work in the city every single day, party in the city. I did everything in the city. And like, my energy was so much more chaotic. Up here, I'm so much more at peace. But there's moments and times where I really want to feel that New York City vibe. And granted, when I think about going out, date night, whatever it is, it's in the city. It's not up here. I am a city girl at heart, but sometimes you need to recalibrate. Anyway, I digress. But changing the scenery has been instrumental. Also, it changes your outfits, like how fly you get. If I'm up here, I'm not doing the most, and I gotta stop doing that, because what's doing the most? What does that even mean? I'll wait. It means nothing. But I think about like how the change of scenery has really affected me. And this is going to be a whole nother tangent, but I think about how I grew up. So I've always lived in New York. I was born and raised in the Bronx. My parents are Jamaican, so we lived in a predominantly Jamaican neighborhood in the Bronx. I went to school for a little stint in the Bronx, like elementary, maybe up until third grade. And then I went to school in Westchester County, in Mount Vernon, New York, actually. I never lived in Mount Vernon, but I went to school there. So that energy was totally different. I went to school from third grade up until ninth grade. And then from ninth grade, what had happened was my mom wanted to put me in a Catholic school, but I didn't want to wear a uniform. So I did not. I hope my mama not watching this, but I failed the test on purpose. I think she knew. But I thought like I was going to go to like a school in like Scarsdale or like Pelham and like, you know, just like live my best life. And then she was like, psych sis, you going to school in the Bronx. What up? Anyway, sorry. And I honestly feel like I got the best of both worlds. I was saying this to my boyfriend the other day. Like, I don't have a place where I'm like, oh, I'm from here. Granted, I was born and raised in the Bronx, grew up in the Bronx, but I have a lot of connection to Westchester County. I live here now. I went to school here, but then I went to high school in the Bronx, and then I went to college in the city. I went to FIT. So I have always bounced around, and I worked in Westchester County all throughout college. I worked at Neiman Marcus and at Nordstrom. So I have a well-rounded sense of suburban life and city life. And I think the change of scenery has balanced me out so much, because I could be like, yo, what's good? My name is Crystal, but I don't talk like that. Hi, I'm Crystal. I am from Westchester, and how are you? I don't talk like that either, but I think I have a good mirror of the two, and I don't feel like I've always been in a urban area. I've been exposed to different things, which is great. Even as a kid, like my parents exposed us to a lot of things. We always went out to eat in the city. We always did different things. I went to Puerto Rico one day on a whim. My father picked me up. That's another story. He picked me up from school. I was in kindergarten, and it was like reset, time to get out of school. It was me and my cousin, and he picked us up, no bags, no nothing. We flew to Puerto Rico, and we was in Puerto Rico for the weekend. And I called my sister like, Christina, I'm in Puerto Rico. Ooh. Anyway, I'm a person that thinks in song, and I will tell you guys how when I was a kid, I was in Miami airport and I saw Biggie Smalls. Yes, I did. And I ran up to him and I said, Biggie, give me one more chance. Biggie, give me one more chance. And he laughed. He did. So, Biggie, if you remember me, what up? Anyway, change of scenery has made me feel more well-rounded. And I don't feel like I'm out of place in any circles. Don't get me wrong, in business, I have felt like an imposter, but I feel like this veil of unworthiness has lifted off of me, and I am stepping into this new season as a new woman. Like, I can't even fathom thinking I shouldn't be in a certain space. I shouldn't meet this person. I'm afraid to talk to this person. I'm afraid to say this. But also, change your scenery, you change your mindset. You have a change of vibe and direction. And what I've also noticed, besides changing scenery, changing what you listen to on a daily basis. Like, I love a good slow love making R&B song, but a lot of those songs are toxic, one. And two, a lot of them that I like are from the 90s, and they reflect back my childhood to me in a way. And some parts of my childhood were not the fondest of my memories. So I get back in that state. So what I've been listening to a lot lately is Cleo Soul. She is like just so mellow. It like resets my nervous system in a way. And I'm not transported back into that time and feeling like that low, small person. I'm just me, right? So like I change my scenery. Even if you can't change your scenery, change your music, change the atmosphere, buy a new candle or buy a diffuser that gives you a different vibe, different sense. Change your furniture around. Like, who said you can't do that? Just to have a different flow of energy and get some creative juices flowing. But also, like, when you change your energy, you change your scenery, you change your energy, you change your frequency. You can plan for those things. It doesn't have to be you wake up on a whim one morning and say, hey, I'm going to go work somewhere else. I have no plan, don't know where I'm going, blah, blah. Scout things out. TikTok is the new Google. Go on TikTok. Go on TikTok and say, hey, to yourself, where do I want to go? But also, like, it's just nice to get out the house and do something fun and different. So, yeah. Change your scenery, guys. Enjoy the week. And I'll tell you guys all about my little trip to Bergdorf Goodman, a girl from the Bronx, at Bergdorf having high tea, because why not? I deserve to feel fancy. Anyway, guys, until next week, I'll see you later, affiliates. Bye.